Thank you, Karen, and good afternoon. I'm going to follow the 3 B's of a good talk. Begin, be brief, and be gone. You've had a long and I can obviously see very interesting and important day. And I'm not going to belabor a lot of the policy and political prescriptions, many of which you've heard now. Rather than do that, I'm going to make a couple of quick observations and then raise and suggest a challenge to you. The fact of the matter is that as we sit here today, most of our governments are just flat out broken. And they are broken in large part because we as Americans have allowed them to be broken. We as Americans have allowed ourselves to become far too polarized on all the issues that matter to the men and women of our country. And all too often, we have allowed the polarization that exists, both in partisan terms between Democrats and Republicans, and in ideological terms between conservatives and liberals, to dominate the rhetoric. The time for that must end. It pains me no end when I get up and release polls and have to talk about the low esteem with which we have as Americans with public officials, with Congress and our own state legislature having the lowest job performances literally in our lifetime, if not the lowest job performances in history. Something is clearly wrong. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it to end the polarization, to begin to sit down in communities and work together to solve the problems? Let's face one fact. Governments don't do planning very well. They never have, and they never will. Most politicians, unfortunately, think only of the next election or of the next vote. I say that knowing that we often send very good people. The folks who've been here today work hard. These are legislators who work hard. They have good instincts, but the fact of the matter is, the culture in both Harrisburg and Washington is so broken that it's not simply possible for the people we send to office to bring about the changes that we need to make in our own communities to improve the lives of our citizens. And quite frankly, that's where you come in. I looked at this outstanding group of people here, and I want to just make one simple observation. I know I don't sound much like a college professor now. I ain't going to apologize for that. The fact of the matter is, if this group can't do it, with the talent and the skills that I see on the participants at this organization and the kinds of people here, it can't be done. And so the challenge to you is to put your minds and your hearts and your energy level and to do the planning and to sit down and to force the public officials of this state to do the right thing for our communities and not to bring generation after generation of neglect into the communities across our state. And so let me conclude by saying that it doesn't really matter whether you're liberal or conservative or Democrat or Republican. None of that really matters. What matters is whether you can put together coalitions of like-minded people who want to solve these important problems. You know, there's an old saying that it's not a, there's no Republican way to clean the streets or Democratic way to clean the snow, to get rid of the snow. And I think the same is true for the kinds of problems that confront our state. Pennsylvania has, and this is going to sound harsh, too long been a reform backwater. Too long we have followed too many states and too many communities in making the kinds of fundamental changes that will improve the lives of our citizens. And so the challenge is, you can do it. Do you have the energy and the enthusiasm and the commitment to make the changes that matter? Thank you.